Hello, and I'm back again. Luxury data still running just about. I was a bit poorly last week, and I'd recorded a lovely review on Corporation or Cybercop if you're based in the States, and it was cursed. It just would not work no matter what I did. So basically, just having a chance to, I'm gonna try and redo it, but the audio was terrible on it. So in the meantime, I decided just to try and do something a bit more just quick to dip into. So I'm firing up the Atari VCS. So without further ado, let's get playing some Night Driver. Okay, this seems like a weird one, but I just found that Night Driver is kind of, in a way, it's one of the simplest VCS games, but it's actually one of the most impressive in a way. Basically, if you bear in mind that it was a very early, late 70s game, very early release for the VCS, and it's a 3D racer. I mean, okay, it's pretty simplistic, but you're driving into the screen. You've got obstacles. You've got a varied track. You can control your speed. It's an analog control. Something that we lose again. For years until we start getting into the likes of the PlayStation 2. Oh, sorry, not the PlayStation 2. The DualShocks and the PlayStation 1 and the analogs. So anyway, let's start this up. Now, I always play this. Okay, let's take it slow first. I always play black and white because I think it looks a bit better. That it actually is, that you're driving down a nice road and you got your cat's eyes there, and you do now. Okay, you're not getting it right now because I'm a bit rusty. I hit by a giant mushroom there. But when you crank it up full blast, you actually get a feeling of speed. Okay, not when I keep hitting things. I'd like to state that this has actually been played on a real Atari. I'm using the paddles. I had to take the bloody things apart and grease them. It's the only thing. They're brilliant, but just every so often you got to do a bit of maintenance on them. But it's one of those things. People see the Atari and the paddles, and they always think the likes of Breakout and what have you. Warlords. Again, I'm going to do Warlords. Well, I'll probably need 3 other people for it. But it is one of the best multiplayer games. It's one of the best multiplayer games, period. But it's one of the best paddle games and one of the best games in the 2600. But when you see the paddles, you don't think of them being used for driving games. And like I said, I think this is a great example. Again, I might show you at the end it with the colours, with the colour option switched on. But I think it's for its time, it's a pretty impressive game. There's really an awful lot more to say about it. You're basically in your little racing car. You're driving down a country lane basically, and it's nice and fast. It's on a machine that's the first, well, I suppose second generation, depending on where you look at it, consoles, and yet you've got a good feeling of speed. It's one of those games I always come back to, and again, you've got to play it on the real thing. If you're based in Ireland, the UK, the States, whatever, get yourself an Atari VCS. If you ever want to collect games, they're the cheapest to collect. They still look fantastic in that really cool, chunky 70s way. And, 62, that was the score there. You don't need boxes and things, they still look good on their own, stacked up. This is, by the way, in colour, so let's crank it up to the max. Let's see how long I last. My lovely blue car there. See what I mean? It's just, I think it looks better, oh god, that was terrible, in black and white. But it's your own choice. So, I'm going to load up something else now in a second, okay? Just sorry, but when I'm at this, a big shout out to Steve Benway. That's the chap that recommended me on his channel. EDC138 has also mentioned that he's been corresponding on that on things that's been pretty good. And the lads over in the boards.ie arcade and retro site. And anyone that's subscribed, if you're watching these videos and you like them, subscribe, and it means I know that you're enjoying them. So anyway, thanks to those guys, and thanks to you for watching. Now we're just looking at my second kind of go-to game when I bring out the Atari VCS. It's Battlezone. Now this was on, obviously, in the arcades. It was a wireframe kind of game. Hang on. So we're back there. It's basically, this is on the Atari VCS/2600 as well. I know obviously it's not a wireframe game, but I think, considering it's such a basic machine, this is really, it's so playable. I mean, if it hadn't been for the fact that Atari owned the Battlezone license, they could have done this as Tank 3D. Combat 3D, right? Well, Tank 3D is nice, but Combat 3D, and it would have been as good. But you basically drive around, you shoot other tanks, you'll see kind of helicopters every so often, kind of these weird kind of Comanche style things, I guess, dual rotor, they come out, or Blackhawks, I forget which, no, Chinooks, that's it, Chinooks. But anyway, these weird looking things with 2 rotors, and there's other things which may be UFOs, I'm not too sure, but they fly at you, and it's just such a, yeah, there you go, there's a, hang on, it's more like the land speeder out of Star Wars. But it's you just drive around, shoot tanks, and build up your high score. And it's, oh, I got done from behind. You got to watch the radar in this as well. But like I said, it's one of my go-to games on the VCS. There's this, there's Montezuma's Revenge, and I haven't done Montezuma's Revenge because it is my favourite game of all time, and I'm going to look at a couple of different versions because it is just my favourite platformer. And the likes of River Raid, which is just, I love combat, that kind of thing. But usually when I break the VCS out, or the 2600, I have a little 2600 Junior at the moment that this is on, this is basically what I go to. So there you go. Now listen, I might have to edit a little bit of this, but basically this has been pretty much one live recording, which is unusual for me because I usually have to stop and start and occasionally do a bit of ADR, the re-recording stuff. So it's the first for me. So listen, again, thanks for watching. If you've been a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. I've got some great stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks, hopefully. Yeah, listen, I'll play out. Thanks a lot.